morning, folks. Welcome back. Before I start, I must confess this morning, I didn't shave, shower, shampoo today because tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, church day. So I did brush my teeth, though, and ate a good breakfast. How's that for a start? Anyway, it's now 25 minutes before 12 noon, Nova Scotia time, in the morning of Saturday, the 28th day of November. 5 weeks, not months. 5 weeks to Christmas Day and 6 weeks to New Year. So time flies. I just got finished watching a piece, had an early dinner. I was watching the BBC World News. They only gave a 10-minute clip, and from 10 past 11 to 11:30 for the next 18-20 minutes, they had on a piece on the Nuremberg war trials. Now, and those are the ones that were accused, not only accused, pretty well all of them were guilty of sin. Nazis and their collaborators during Adolf Hitler and the Nazis' terrible reign of terror, 10-12 years in Europe, 1933 to 1945, the end of World War II in Europe. And Churchill wanted to have just lined up at a wall and shoot them all. But American justice system, and I am deliberately wearing a U.S. Army t-shirt given me by a wonderful lady in there. Good morning, Linda, if you're watching. And I got subscribers at some point this weekend. Your little beep that my video's up and you'll watch it. So I'm wearing your wonderful U.S. Army t-shirt this morning. Now, it's beautiful. I appreciate it. Dziękuję. That is Polish Czechoslovakian for thank you. You taught me that some years ago. Anyway, I deliberately wear my U.S. Army t-shirt. The U.S. Army and General Eisenhower felt, no, you have to have a trial. And they were all given due justice. There was Goring and Hess and lots of other henchmen. One guy comes to mind is Hans Frank. He was the guy that they actually had a son. Just video I'm watching on BBC, just minutes ago on the BBC, is a very current video. This is not old war footage. There was some old war footage in it, but they interviewed people, and one of them was this prosecutor, last remaining prosecutor from Nuremberg war trials. The gentleman is well in his 90s. It's not close to 100. They have the son of the guy that ran Poland, and he remembers his father as a distant cold fellow. And I have somebody not very far from here, former provincial politician that didn't get re-elected, and he's just a cold, distant cat. And I made a comment one day, I don't know if you'll be flattered by this or not, but it's not meant as flattery. I've noticed Bill Gates. Bill Gates has turned to be a very cold, expressionless guy. I see, you watch him much current events as I do, and business news and so on. He comes before a congressional committee and just bland and cold. And Hans Frank's son said in an interview, and this guy's in his 70s, probably close to 80 now, said he remembers his father as a cold, distant man. And so that's an interesting comment, cold and distant. Anyway, I want to get back to this wonderful family from Ontario of Czechoslovakian origin. Then what got me going is they mentioned 3 concentration camps. One of them is Becken. I think it's Beckenberg it's called, Becken. Her grandfather, her mother's father, died in that concentration camp. And he wasn't Jewish. They were actually Catholic from Prague or near Prague, Czechoslovakia. And he was a businessman, and he provided food to underground and help. And this went on for months or several years, and some bastard squealed on him, and he was arrested and ended up in a concentration camp, and he died just several months before the concentration camp was liberated. Her mother escaped Czechoslovakia when the Russians come in. She got out of there so they wouldn't live under communism. And she arrived on a ship at either Montreal or Halifax. And suspect it was Montreal because she worked on a dairy farm. This young single woman with lots of guts and courage, she left everybody behind in Czechoslovakia, worked on a dairy farm. And she later met her husband, and at times maybe it was a stormy marriage, but they had 5 daughters, one of which is a wonderful daughter, by far the best in the family. There's 5, but I'm going to play favorites here. The best in the family I know quite well. And the family and the industry and the business they're in developed into one of the largest type businesses in the industry they operate in. And so that is what World War II did. Anyway, this lady that married her Czech husband had 5 daughters, as I said. And when Alexis Kosygin and dudes like that would come over to see the curly-headed pot pushers, alleged father, Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Elliott, they come to Ottawa. They're going to make detente and all this stuff. And some of them come to Toronto, some of them to Ottawa. And she would dress those 5 daughters up in a Czech uniform, Czech national. It's actually doesn't look dissimilar to our Acadian. It's not totally. If you looked in close in the picture, it's not dissimilar to our Acadian ladies. Okay, that get dressed up. Okay, or Viva Acadia. It's not dissimilar. Okay, their uniform. So anyway, she takes and she'd bring them up to Ottawa or Toronto, and they'd protest. And just recently, actually several times, said, why didn't I stand up and fight? We were here in Canada, she said, as little girls and then teenagers. There were different ages, so some were teenagers, younger sisters probably still young girls, 10, 11, 12, whatever, not quite teenagers yet. And why didn't they protest in Czechoslovakia? She made that comment. This lady has some backbone in her. Okay, she's much like her mother, and probably good amount of DNA from her father. Obviously, not a good amount, there is. So there's some fight. She's what you call a high-spirited middle-aged lady. And so anyway, at that time, she's a high-spirited young lady. And so I seen a piece a while back on the Jewish people in Hungary. And Hungary had a tremendously large population of Jewish people, and they almost all got annihilated under the Third Reich under Hitler. One of the men that survived is a gentleman by the name of Andy Grove. I digress here. Andy Grove, the co-founder with Jerry Moore of Intel Corporation, a Pentium chip that's in most computers. Some of you will be watching my video on a computer that has a Pentium chip in it, or a smartphone or whatever. Anyway, I better wrap this up. I'm at the 7-minute mark already, I see here. And so they showed a picture and said, why didn't you fight? First, they had to have a Star David on. Then they smashed their shop windows, and then they had a Star David on. Then they were put in ghettos. Then they were tattooed. Why didn't you fight? Well, this reminds me of just damn biological germ warfare from communist China. Coronavirus. Right now, what we're going through here in this here area, you have 4 minutes of health down the road, expressionless, bland. Bland is tofu or yogurt that plain vanilla yogurt they forgot to put vanilla in to give it some flavor. Vanilla beans or blueberries or strawberries or cherries or something pulp to give it some flavor and some color to it, some life, some zip. What we've been experiencing is biological germ warfare. What civil liberties we sacrificed for how few people have died. Say, my God, you're reckless in saying this. You think I'm reckless? I'm going to repeat this. What civil liberties we've given up for so few people have died. I'm going to be doing an upcoming video on a real pandemic coming, and it's fatal. Very few people survive this here. Almost all that get this disease die. And it's growing, it's exploding in the number, but nobody's talking about it. John Pettipas is going to an upcoming video next several days. Okay, it was just a piece in yesterday's. Actually, it's Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. More cancer cases cost than pandemic. How many women will have? Poor ladies with cancer, breast cancer, have it spread to lymph nodes. Makes it very much more difficult to fight. How many men will have heart attacks and fatal heart attacks, or women for that matter, that didn't know they needed a stint because they didn't get their dye test or their stress test? I can go on, okay, because the whole health system was shut down. We've sacrificed a lot, and I will be shit-shaving, showering, shampooing tomorrow morning for church. And we have severe restrictions given on kids' education. A year and a half ago, the liquor stores were open. Essential service, they tell us. Premier McNeil and Dr. Bobby Strange, Nova Scotia, I can speak from experience. Essential service here. Essential service. Liquor stores open and churches shut. There's an alternative motive in these people. Alternative motive, and these people are doing this, that, and everything. Oh, it's wrong good. Got to do this here. Monkey do, monkey see. Not much original thought there. Anakin is full of that. They just loved it. Something to blah, blah, blah. Restrictions this, restrictions this. Just love it. If I had a spoon and a bowl, I'd demonstrate. Eat it all up. Suck it all up. Eat it all up. Okay. We are paying, we have paid, we are paying, and continue to pay, sadly, a tremendous violation of our civil rights over biological germ warfare. And I'm drawing analogies. I'm almost at the 11-minute mark. Okay? The rise of the Nazis. So there's one guy in here. He was a friend of not as well known as Göring or Hess, but he was one of the main players with Hitler, was a personal friend and a descendant of the Strauss family of Austria. People forget that Hitler is thinking as a German. Hitler was born in Vienna, Austria. He became the Führer, the Chancellor, the Führer of Germany. But Hitler was an Austrian. I find it interesting that this week that people that aren't fully vaccinated in Austria are put under house arrest in Austria. Think about it, folks. This here is Saturday morning, about 11:45 noon almost now, on the 20th day of November of 2021. Hitler committed suicide in late April, I think it was April 30th, late April of 1945. So that's 76 years out. Next spring will be 77 years. We're still doing the same thing. Hitler, the vagabond from the streets of Vienna, Austria, that rose to become the German leader. And Germans are meticulous in record keeping there. It's a very strange thing. Meticulous, smart in engineering, automobile manufacturing, stuff like this here. Precision disc to be perfect. Record keeping perfect. But also could be so enthralled by Hitler, the Führer, and the Nazis. It's like fire. It can be good to keep you warm, or it can burn you and cause danger. Okay, cause damage. Okay, so it's a double-edged sword, as they say. A double-edged sword in the personality for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up again, and I'm going to conclude with this here. Where there's no question in my mind that a lot of these restrictions coming out of this biological germ warfare are clearly aimed at stomping out faith in God in religion. You say, boy, that's a strong statement, John. It's not. Think about it. It's a fact. It's a fact. You have terrible Timothy this week, and he is terrible. That little piece of shit. Okay, little ego bag from Picto East. Tim Houston. What we're supposed to salute him, or what we're supposed to do? Bow to him, curtsy, give him a salute. I have a salute for him. What's it called? Give it the bird. Give it the bird. I don't know. I call this the finger. Okay, finger, but he said, flip me the bird. Whatever. I don't know how he gets that one, but we'll flip the bird, give him the finger. So it's a nice way for people with ego, the Democrats in the United States, Newsom out in California, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, and the Congressman from California. So Pelosi, they're taking Newman, the governor, the governor of California. You get the Chuck Schumer. You get Adam Schiff, Shifty Shit, whatever you want to call him, Congressman from California. Timothy Houston, Randy Strange, Tan in Ottawa, Fauci, whatever you want to call him, starts with F anyway, an F word. It gives people like that undue control, okay? And we're violating, at the 15-minute mark almost, they're violating our civil rights and our religious freedom, and if we don't wake up, we're going to find ourselves like Nazi Germany. With that, I got to go. It's not a pleasant subject. All the best. Thank you. Promote discussion. Share far and wide. Thank you.